In this video, we'll be hunting a box of nickels. We'll be looking for any older Jeffersons from before 1960, including war nickels, buffaloes, or anything older. We'll also be looking for any foreigns, proofs, air reserve varieties, or any other cool things we can find. And if you haven't seen it yet, we have an amazing ender in this box. As I was walking out of the bank, I looked through the holes in the bottom and I saw this, and it's a war nickel with an S mint mark. So we already have a silver ender. That's awesome. And then we also have a couple more enders. Right here, there's a 1949. And right here is a 1948. So already have a silver, so it's already a great box. Let's start the hunt, and I'll bring you in when we have our first find. Roll 3, and we have our first older Jefferson. And it's a pretty beat up 1955, minted in Denver. Next roll, another nickel from the 50s. And this one is a 1953, Philadelphia. Roll number 6, and we have the first 40s nickel of the box besides the enders. And it is a 1947 out of Philly. Next roll, and we have another nickel from 1947, but this one's minted in San Francisco. Roll 9 had a couple more nickels from the 50s, a 1956 and a 1958, both minted in Denver. Roll 11, and we have another nickel from the 40s. This one is a 1941 out of Philly. Next roll, we have another nickel from the 50s. And it's a 1957 out of Philly in pretty good shape. Roll 13, and we have another nickel from the 50s, and it's another 1953 out of Philly. Roll 15 was our first ender of the box, and it is a 1949 Philly. Roll 19 was the second ender of the box, and the ender was a 1948 out of Philly, and then also on the roll was a 1954 out of San Francisco. Roll 21, and we have another nickel from the 40s, and it's a 1948 out of Denver. Roll 23 had a couple 50s finds. First is a pretty nice 1954 out of San Francisco, and then it also had a 1958 out of Denver. Roll 25, halfway point of the box, and we're going to have the first foreign, and I don't think it looks Canadian. It's going to be something different. Yeah, Commonwealth of the Bahamas, date of 2000, 5 cents with the pineapple on the back. That's a cool foreign find. Roll 29, and we have the new oldest nickel of the box, barely, because we have a 1940 out of Philly. Roll 32, and we have another 50s nickel. This one is another 1956 Denver. Next roll, and we have another nickel from the 50s. This one's a 1952 out of Philly. Next roll, and it was actually a reverse facing ender, a 1958, minted in Denver. Roll 36, and we have another nickel from the 40s, and this one's another 1948 Denver. Roll 40, and we have a couple more older Jeffersons. First is a 1957 out of Denver, and next is a pretty nice 1959 out of Philly. Roll 41, and we have another 50s nickel. And this one is another 1955 Denver. Roll 43 is the silver ender, so we're going to open this roll live. I haven't gotten any other silver buffaloes in this box, but still, one silver in a nickel box is so good. And we got that cool foreign already too. Don't see any other interesting edges, so I'll pull out the silver. Already know it has an S mint mark. And it's a 1945S, 35% silver war nickel. That's an awesome find. This is unbelievable. The next roll after the silver ender, and we have another silver. 2 rolls in a row with a silver war nickel. Has a Philadelphia mint mark, 1943P. 2 silvers right next to each other in the box. That's crazy. Same roll as that second silver. Still can't believe I just got 2 silvers in a row. And we have another 1954 minted in San Francisco. Roll 45 had a couple nickels from the 50s. First, a 1958 from Denver. Then next, a 1959 from Philly. Roll 47 had a couple more finds. First, another 1940 out of Philly. And then next, we have another 1958 Denver. Next roll, roll 48. And I already pulled out a 1958 out of Denver. But we have a proof nickel, and it's out of Philly. This is a 1962 proof nickel. Has a little bit of that proof shine left, but it's definitely, you can tell, has a full step strike, and it's kind of hard to see on camera, but there is still a little bit of that proof shine left. After I wipe it down, it'll be a lot easier to tell, and you'll see that in the wrap-up. So that's a good find. Still on roll 48, and we have another 1955 out of Denver in pretty rough shape. Roll 50 will give us a couple last finds. Pretty beat up 1941 out of Philly, and another 1958 out of Denver. Now let's go on to the wrap-up. Nickel box has been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We only got 9 estimates, which might be a record low, which is pretty interesting. Did find this coin with a smiley face and an arrow pointing to the word trust, which is also pretty weird. Then we did get 1 foreign, and it's from the Bahamas from 2000, with the pineapple on the back, and it says 5 cents, so that's pretty cool. And we did get this 1 proof near the end. It's a 1962 Philadelphia proof. Did clean it up a little bit, wipe it down. It's a little easier to tell it's a proof, but it definitely has been in circulation for a long time. It's a little hard to tell, but still, definitely a proof. Great find. Older Jeffersons, we didn't do too bad. Got a few nicer examples, including this 1959, 1957, and this 1954 San Francisco. 2 finds in the box for the back-to-back silvers. Started off with this 1945 S. That was an ender. And then in the next roll, we got a 1943 out of Philadelphia. 2 35% silver war nickels. That was a great hunt.